So Def Noodles, who's a guy who I've talked about multiple times here on the channel, is getting himself into trouble once again, and he's going after Papa Gut now, sort of beating a dead horse in terms of this conversation because they've already had a debate months ago. I think it was like in March. It's almost August now, so it's really weird. He just attacked them out of nowhere. Now, I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you all know who both of these people are. Maybe you don't know who Papa Gut is. Basically, he's a streamer who reacts to people, actually transforms the content. But anyway, Papa Gut comes out and he responds to somebody explaining a joke. He says, if the joke was, if she's old enough to bleed, she's old enough to breed. Thank you very much, Andres Lopez, for the advice. It was a satirical call out, and he goes on for a little bit, but I didn't screen cap that part because the important part is the response. MF got famous on TikTok for joking, quote unquote, about banging 14-year-old girls, then gets offended someone jokes about him. But you know, he was right. I shouldn't have said that. I should have said that he makes himself so small in his videos to hide the fact he looks like a pedo. And then he responds to his own tweet with, FBI Los Angeles, put this MF on a watch list. He looks mad suspicious.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
And I'm genuinely wondering what this guy's problem is. You know, he's just mired himself in so many stupid scandals that are just so unnecessary. So unnecessary. What are you talking about? Ah, my goodness. I can't believe it. And what's crazy is I'm going to put his hypocrisy in the title somewhere, because I have multiple examples of him going back against this type of thing. Even this tweet right here, he says, how to be a journo in 2022. Imply Addison Rae's dad, Monty Lopez, is a pedo in a tweet. Interview his 25-year-old girlfriend for the article. Rake in the cash, more like pennies, because old media is going broke for a reason. Haha, suck it. So yeah, I even agree with this tweet. Like, hey, don't imply somebody's a pedo because they're like 46 with a 25-year-old. Yeah, the age gap's weird. Me personally, I wouldn't do it, but whatever. But that's not even the point. He literally, in this debate with Papa Gut, like, what was it, a couple months ago, he literally argued that this joke was completely fine. Here's the clip.
So, I'm sorry this offended you. It's,
it didn't really offend me. Anyway, can I talk about the old enough to bleed?
You wouldn't have brought it up unless it did. So,
okay.
Clearly.
I mean, I just disagree. I listen. Okay. So let's talk about the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed. The full joke that I made was, if she's old enough to bleed, she's old enough to breed. Thank you very much, Andre Lopez, for the advice. So Andre Lopez at the time was a 23-year-old TikToker with like 20 million fans.
I know what Andre is. I actually broke that story, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, which story is that?
15-year-old girl, the one with the recording.
Yeah. So like, regardless of my intention was to call that out, I would use humor to call stuff out, but it missed because people misinterpret it. It's an inappropriate joke regardless.
I mean, what's context? That's the thing that we keep coming back to. Humor is all about context.
I know, but like, you threw out the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed thing. I'm just like explaining the take on it. It's still inappropriate because of the sphere that I was in, and like, people were very sensitive to pedophile jokes, which makes perfect sense. And so like, now I'm more sensitive to making like that joke. And I'm going to stop because I am worried about the way that what I'm saying is interpreted.
Explain something to you.
I know, but it's not.
I'm genuinely so curious as to what made Def Noodles take this huge 180. I mean, like I said, like, there's multiple examples of him being against this exact thing. In fact, his lawsuit against Keemstar is literally based around this type of statement that he's making.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this and not join them! Bring balance to
YouTube.
Not leave it in darkness!
Like, what are you doing? Genuinely. What's going on? Why are you... Maybe it's to draw relevancy, you know? The videos haven't been doing so well. I mean, I'll put up his Social Blade numbers right now. Look, I'm not the biggest channel in the world, but at least I'm trending upwards, okay? And thank you all for that. I really appreciate it. I love it. All 67 of you. Thank you. And maybe this was sort of a dying gasp. You know, he's going to have to spend a lot of money going after Keemstar. In fact, he tried to call out Optimus, and Optimus responded in a Twitter exclusive video. I managed to grab it. I'm only going to play some bit of it here and chop it up a little bit.
More efficient than making a thread of tweets that no one honestly wants to read, considering the person it's about is Def Noodles, infamous for being a Twitter punching bag and YouTube laughingstock. This man invited me to his show to roast him live. He even waived the $15 entry fee, guys. Oh boy, lucky me. And he said he'd even pay for my flight and stay. He then also called me a bitch, which is heavily ironic. You're the grown fucking man wearing kitty cat ear headphones for 11-year-old children to gawk. Not only that, but you got so ass mad that Keemstar joked about you being a pedophile that you launched a lawsuit against him you'll most likely lose, which is probably why you're whoring yourself out for $15. You might have had more luck starting up the OnlyFans there, Dennis.
So yeah, he wants Optimus to pay money to come see him, to come argue with him. Why? And why $15? I'll take $15. No, in fact, no, I won't, because I'm not going all that way for $15. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Unless, it might give me a channel boost, so that would be nice. But still, I can just do the same thing over the mic. I can say that all your points are stupid right from here. I don't need a live studio audience to do that. That's silly. Now, if it was $1,500 and you covered the flight, then Dennis, I'd love to. I accept 100%. If you want me to come, I will. Now, Dennis, funnily enough, decided to come out in an apology to Twitter. Not to Papa Gut, not to Optimus, not to anybody who he's been striking out at, but he wanted to apologize to Twitter. So here it is.
Welcome, folks. It feels like it's been only a couple of days since we were here last. And once again, I find myself in a situation where my mouth gets me in trouble. I am once again facing a new round of allegations, backlash, drama, whatever you want to call it. To put it plainly, people are upset because of things I've said, words I've said.
So I cut it at the first minute. Bad. He continues with the whole joking throughout thing, and it's just way too long. Can't people just say, like Abra and Preach say, just come out, say, hey, I messed up, I'm gonna do better next time. Boom. Because that's how apologies work in real life. Hey, I'm sorry for doing this. Boom. Now, well, I gotta explain the situation and try to frame it so that I look the best. No. Okay? We don't care enough about everything you have to say to be like, oh, let me check every detail. No. Just come in, say what you did was wrong, that you're gonna be better, and leave. If the apology is over a minute, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. If it's over 5 minutes, I'm like, I know this is bad. And if it's 40 minutes long, I won't even consider watching it, because there's no way a good apology can be 40 minutes unless you have to apologize to a nation or something. That's completely beside the point. Devin Noodles has to be one of the worst content creators when it comes to his personal and public image, and how he works those, and how the community interacts around him. Also, he's very inconsistent. He's got to do something about that. I don't know if he sits down and soul searches, maybe stops doing whatever led to this. Some people are saying that he's doing coke binges. I doubt that. That's really ridiculous. Also, those jokes are why I leave jokes out of my videos, except for clips and stuff, because I can make people laugh, but am I consistently funny? No, and I'm not gonna embarrass myself on this platform. If you find Def Noodles genuinely funny, let me know, please. I'm not gonna be look at this idiot. How could you find Def Noodles funny? I'm gonna be oh, you feel this and this and this way? Okay, that's cool. I feel this the way and this way and this way. Because there's nothing wrong with finding him funny. I just haven't met or heard of anybody who does, which is hilarious considering how he considers himself to be a comic. That's weird. If you're a comedian on YouTube, at least do stand-up. Tom Gossi has done stand-up. Chills Little Adonis has done stand-up. So many people are comedians that are also on YouTube. You're just a comedian that's on YouTube, right? You're a comedian YouTuber is different from a comedian that does YouTube. It's basically what I'm trying to say. And I phrased it really weird, but I'm sure you understand from what. Wow. If I could speak English, that would be great. But how everything just looks for Deaf Noodles is just so bad. Like, why are you doing this? Like, there's the relevancy angle, but sometimes I genuinely think he believes what he says, and he just might be a little off in the head, right? Because we've seen him like go after Keemstar and be like talking to his therapist and going like, this is my biggest problem. This guy named Daniel King on the internet, he's just so bad. I want him to take off his hat. It's just so hurtful. The way he makes fun of me. I can't deal with it. And it's just stuff like that. Like, why are you doing this? Oh, I just pulled a joke right there after saying I don't do jokes, and it wasn't very funny. Whatever. Anyway, I think that wraps up everything that needs to be said. This guy, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I'm not gonna get demonetized. I just don't want to get the video taken down. So I'm not gonna say all the things I could say, which would just be insulting him and wouldn't be very funny. And insults aren't really as funny as like making fun of the guy. So I'm just gonna leave it here and be nice as possible. Thank you all for watching. I really enjoy it. Thanks again for all the tips. Also, as much as I hate to ask for likes or dislikes, a lot more successful channels than me have been doing it. So I love feedback in general. People who give it without me asking is awesome. People who don't give it and still watch, it's still awesome because you're still giving me a view. But if you could just drop a like and drop your thoughts on the video in the comments, that would be great. It really does help out. My videos with more comments get a lot more views and stuff, and that is something I really appreciate, because while I do this for fun, it still is nice to get recognition and